I never thought I would be in public service because I'm by nature an entrepreneur. Everywhere I turn, I see an opportunity. I'm a business person in every fiber of my being. But you can be out there battling, or you can be at the table where you can make changes to create a better infrastructure for you to do things. And I can always go back to private business, but I might have only a moment in time to contribute to changing how our country goes.
Ambassador, let's talk about leadership style for women in public service. As a trailblazing woman in diplomacy and now in governance, how do you define your leadership style?
My leadership style is inclusive. I try to make everyone be aware that they have an important role to play in whatever we are going to achieve. And I try to make sure that all my team members are aware that they are valued. And but there's also accountability. Mm-hmm. So I'm very big on making sure you understand what is expected of you and hold you accountable to that while supporting you. I'm not very good at micromanaging. I'm not good with the details. So I like to make sure there's a big picture that you all buy in, which I'll be driving. And then we work through the details and I give you all the various tasks to do. And then I have regular meetings to ensure there is accountability to the tasks that have been agreed on, and there are good outcomes. So you'll hear, if in any meeting you'll hear me talk about working smart and having smart objectives, smart goals, how we do things. And smart in that respect means specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, and time-bound. And so that is kind of the epitome of my style. I like to know that we are working smart. It is all agreed. It's realistic, but most importantly, it is time-bound. Because that's part of what we are seeing as a problem in Jamaica now in terms of our low productivity. There's a lack of accountability to timelines. Mm-hmm. So we can't compete in the world if we're going to have to wait over 30 days for approvals for the minor things. Whether you're applying for a building permit or just getting something at the tax office, or a pet peeve of mine, to register a company. If you want to do business in Jamaica, there should be no reason why we can't get it done in one day. Mm-hmm. So we are going to have to, and I've already started reviewing all of the regulations that are probably, in some way a hindrance to making us be much more, to expedite how we do things. So I really love the acronym that the Prime Minister and his team came up with, SPEED, streamlining these processes for efficiency and economic development. Mm. So we can do things in a much more efficient way, and that I can relate to. But my management style, to answer the question, is consensus building with accountability, if I was going to be short.
What message really do you have for young women in Jamaica and the diaspora who aspire to public service or diplomacy?
I never thought I would be in public service because I'm by nature an entrepreneur. Everywhere I turn, I see an opportunity. I'm a business person in every fiber of my being. But you can be out there battling, or you can be at the table where you can make changes to create a better infrastructure for you to do things. And I can always go back to private business, but I might have only a moment in time to contribute to changing how our country goes. And you cannot, the big influence on our lives is through government. Government makes all the regulations and laws and policies that can impact all of us, whether you're a billionaire or you're a small business person or an ordinary citizen. So to be at the table where you can help to influence by your perspective the decisions that are made that will govern our lives, it's an invaluable opportunity. And I would encourage everyone, if given an opportunity to serve, to do so. I don't necessarily encourage persons to jump into representational politics as a career. I think it's a good idea if you prove yourself in some shape or form first, get some competencies, and then go into government. But I think if you can serve our country as a foreign service officer, a diplomat, ambassador, it's one of the highest call to service.
And it also prepares you.
And it prepares you for all aspects of your life. I've become so much more patient. I know you're going to ask me about my family. I've become a much more patient person because I've had to learn in diplomacy to think and answer slowly.
Well, it just takes me right into family life, your family and personal life.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen you in many professional capacities, but what grounds you personally? How do you balance the demands of public life with family and personal time?
Well, you know, I'm a big believer of the 3 F's: faith, family, and what let me call financial inclusion. It's really about building a business, building your bank account, understanding money. And so because many persons are okay with the faith part, they call on Jesus every day.
But God help those who help themselves.
Yes, we don't have enough focus on family in Jamaica, meaning that you see it in so many other cultures where family is the foundation of the country. And we have a lot of work to do in that respect, in terms of when we have a country where it's almost 70% single mother households, we're in a crisis. And so after I get through some of the work with our bureaucracy, efficiency,
you're getting into that next?
I want to really spend time working with women, because we are going to have to do more in nurturing our boys and choosing our partners and looking long term. But women need to be stronger financially so that they don't have to see a man as their only, as their economic base, where they must have a child with this one, and if it don't work, or they must have another child with this one to keep going. So we have a lot of work to do, but it is critical for the development of the country if we are going to become, you know, we say 2030 being a developed country. It can't happen unless we do those soft things. The family unit is important.
Critical.
Yeah. So I've been blessed. I have 2 daughters, and they came with me to the U.S., and they're very close to their father. We're going back and forth, so he continued to be a very important part of their growing up, and I think that's very important. Even when the relationship has not worked out as well, I'm using this opportunity to say to women, think of your children and ensure that the father plays, if they're willing, a critical role. Because I know a lot of fathers fighting to be involved in their children's lives when the relationship don't work out. But we separate them because of emotions. And so wherever possible, I think it's important that the mother and father play a role as much as possible. And if possible, because it's not always possible with our children. And where that is not possible as a society, we have to find other ways to be a village for our children, because We are in a crisis. I will get into that. I know that's another thing, but we are going to have to do some things about our young people.
Yeah.
And it's not about learning how to do videos on social media about how to do the latest dance moves. We have to really invest in our children.
I agree.
And they're thinking.
We have to make sacrifices.
And we're going to have
And
to
I'm
make
sure that your
sacrifices.
family did a lot of that. How
Yeah.
has your family supported you through your career transitions?
Oh, I've been very blessed in that, I'm from rural St. Mary, western St. Mary, a little place called Dressiki. And a bigger little place is called Gale. So sometimes I say Gale if people don't know where Dressiki is, in western St. Mary. But I was blessed that I had both my parents with me growing up, and they encouraged me to be all I could be. And my mom especially, she'll move the world to make sure that whatever is possible. So we had land and we're farmers, but even when times were hard, she would do whatever is necessary. She would start buying and selling things, whatever, to make sure we would go to school. And that I was able to board to go to school. So it was a big sacrifice, but she believed in my education. And so from that background, I try to pour the same thing into my children. And that's what I'm talking about. It becomes generational. What you experience, you can move on. Some, of course, many of us who don't have that still understand the importance and do it. But I've been blessed by having a good supportive family structure.
Fantastic. Fantastic. What do you do, though, to unwind? Because I know you're constantly at it, trying to make a difference in the world. Any hobbies, passions, or places in Jamaica you've missed and are eager to enjoy again?
Well, when I was here and when the girls were younger, every weekend, just about every weekend, we'd go around the country. I didn't know the term then, but I was doing staycation a long time, because I think Jamaica is the most beautiful place in the world.
Yes.
And we have the mountains, we have the beaches, we have one of my favorite places in Jamaica is Portland, and it just has such a variety when you go to Portland. We have more attractions, natural attractions in Jamaica, in Portland, than probably all the other Caribbean countries combined. I went to 14 attractions in Jamaica, in Portland, I think in 1 year. And I was like, we could do so much. But I'm just saying that you can have a most enjoyable vacation in Jamaica, just going around Jamaica. And if you live in Jamaica, you can have a real appreciation of the gift that we have to be born in Jamaica, to be citizens of this country if we go around more. And there's another project I'm going to work on with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where we get more of our young people traveling, so that they can also understand what we have here from a young age. So traveling around the country, staying in different places is one of my, my fondest hobbies. I used to play a lot of golf, and I remember when I was going to Washington, I cleaned up my clubs. I was going to play at all these golf courses, and I've played 3 times in almost 10 years. It was just crazy. It was back to back. So I'm going to start golf as soon as I get my hands around what I'm doing now. I hope to, because what's great about golf in terms of downtime, you walk.
That's the best game. You can't even answer your phone while you're playing it.
Yes, you walk, you get a chance to think, you connect with nature. It's a break. It's a real break.
It's a real break.
I grew up swimming in rivers and at beaches because, I was 5 miles from Ochoa, so I love to go swimming. And I love yoga. I do a lot of yoga retreats. And,
nice.
And I've now taken up weight training. I took up that during COVID. And it's one of the best things we can do as women, Pat. I see over there. we can do weight training. It keeps your muscles, and it's a stress relief. So that is one thing I recommend for women. We must no matter how busy you are, we must try and find time to do a little exercise.
Yeah, and take care of the body.
And take care of the body. It's the temple. It is a temple.
Let's talk about you looking forward and what legacy you hope to build in this next chapter of your national service.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
So
I know you have touched on,
yeah, so
but
I'm gonna keep
because
it
you're
very
a woman
simple.
who plans ahead.
Yeah.
I just want to get a feel of what you hope to build in your next chapter of national
So for me,
service.
number one thing that I want is to move Jamaica. I really want Jamaica to be the number one place in terms of ease of doing business, but it sounds so ambitious that I'll say top 5 in the world. So I want to move us to where ease of business is what people associate with Jamaica. Right now you associate our music, our food, our the beautiful country. I want us to become a destination of choice to do business. And so that is where the efficiency part of my work will be focused on. Mm-hmm. And that will be good, not only for investors, but for all of us. Because the more we make the system easy to just do things, the better it will be. You know, and so that's why I'm putting so much time into meeting with all these stakeholders. And for example, I think that you'll hear about very soon. We're going to set up a small call center just to hear back from the public as soon as possible where they are pain points so that we can incorporate that into what we are doing. And you're going to be seeing me doing regular reports. So it's very much going to be a collaborative effort to move the country to the next level. And I want people to feel a sense of ownership, that we are doing this together, and there'll be a lot of communication. I sometimes tend to over-communicate, but I think it's important for buy-in and for engagement because we are all stakeholders in where Jamaica is going.
So that's
number one.
That's an upcoming project, eh?
No, I mean,
or initiative that you're especially excited about?
No, I have quite a few.
Oh, I want to hear more.
We have to have another interview because I don't want to talk before I can say this is the day. Let me tell you, one of the things that always used to annoy me about politicians is announcing things. And so we're going to do this and we're going to do that. I hate announcements. I like to, when we speak next, I want to say, this is what we're implementing. You know, I'm not into the announcements. I want us to see what we're implementing. So this is my first 3 weeks, as I said. So this is where the planning process is. And then, believe me, in that month, I'll be able to start implementing some of the initiatives. And you'll be hearing more about those things.
Oh.
I don't want to do any announcements.
All right.
That are just
so
what we should be doing. Most announcements what we should be doing. I want us to say about what we will be doing and what we are doing, you know. And then the second one in terms of legacy is, again, I'm very influenced by my own experience as an entrepreneur. And why innovation is in my job description is because I want to celebrate entrepreneurs and make them feel that they are in a country where they are supported in their efforts to explore and implement their ideas. And right now, coming out of FinSAC, we have hurt the psyche of our business people. And this is our time for restoration. We have to restore the people's the confidence, especially for our young people, that it's okay for them to dream big and know that they can be supported. And that if you fail, it's okay to do it again. When I look at the background of most of the billionaires in the world, they've had many failures, but they keep going. We have to change some laws so that if you have failed, you are not written off. You are still given an opportunity to try again and know that the system is in place to support you. Because we have a way of write off people too easily. And so that culture of celebrating innovation is very important to me. And if I can get that achieved, that I would feel very blessed to be my lasting legacy. And the third one is the digital transformation You know, I was reading up about Estonia years ago, and you know, they're part of the USSR, and they were way behind. And they have been able to leapfrog many other countries in becoming, if they are not a developed country as yet, they are close to being, using technology. So I've been really focusing on where the world is going with AI and the various digital systems, and how we can use that to drive and modernize our systems and bring more efficiency and ease of doing business in Jamaica. So that part of becoming a digital society is very important to me. And in a way, it's closing the loop of where I started. I started with, you know, as a business person and creating Paymaster.
Right.
Paymaster's objective was to ensure that we can use technology to take the burden out of a common function, paying a bill. And no matter where in the country you are, you could go to the nearest commercial place or facilitation place, a post office, a gas station, a supermarket, and pay a bill, not travel 20 miles to a thing. People have forgotten how that in those days when the internet was just becoming commercial, when I talk about that you can stay at home or stay in your community and do these things, they were like, are you crazy? But this is it. The private sector and the citizens embraced it, and it became successful. Now, and the government never did. It was a battle trying to get the government to, but now the government is ready. So it is a most amazing thing that I'll be given this opportunity to close the loop.
Wow.
And use this opportunity to drive more financial inclusion by having more access to our people. When I look and when I want to pay a hair salon at the hair salon, or someone who's coming to my house to do a service. When I'm abroad, I can do a Zelle, a Cash App. I can just do phone-to-phone transactions. Here, there are still so many regulations and so many constraints to give every Jamaican access to an account to be able to do their financial transactions easily. We have to change that to bring our society into the next level. So I have that opportunity, and if I achieve that, that will be a wonderful legacy.
Fantastic. Ambassador Marks, it has been a pleasure speaking with you.